now for everybody's favorite guessing game, What's My Line? Brought to you by New Stop It, America's leading spray deodorant. Now with its anti-immunity factor. Poof, there goes perspiration. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now let's meet our award-winning What's My Line panel. First, the popular Broadway columnist, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
And tonight, if Fred Allen, who is sitting on my left, looks a little different than usual, it's because he's made up to look like Mr. Peepers. And here he is now, Wally Cox.
And on my left, the most charming and newest Deputy Sheriff of Jefferson County, Texas, Arlene Francis.
Yes, sir. Just be careful from now on, Wally.
And on my left, the distinguished publisher of Random House, among whose books are those of the very well-known Dr. Seuss. Those amusing, fascinating books, and he happens to be here in our audience. Bennett, sir.
And on my left, our fantastically, sometimes dismayingly articulate news moderator and panel moderator, John Charles Daly.
Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to What's My Line. Tonight we have some very fine folks with some very fine occupations to give the panel what we hope will be a difficult time of it. We say this in the friendliest of spirits, needless to say. We'll also have a famous guest challenger a bit later, but I think it's time to get these experts to work on the first line that has to be spotted. So would you sign in, please, sir? Charles Hume. Is that right, sir? How are you, Mr. Hume?
Fine.
Where are you from, sir?
From Des Plaines, Illinois.
Des Plaines, Illinois? I'm glad you're here. Now I know how to pronounce that name and not get my skull caved in when I run into it in the news. Well, our panel over there would like to get a chance to look you over, as it were, so will you take a hike down on the plains over there?
Yum.
Hello, sir. That's a nice bow tie.
Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Hughes.
Hello.
All right, Mr. Hume, if you'll come over here now, please, and sit down next to me. We give the panel one free guess as to what your line may be. See if they can just sort of pluck it out of thin air, as it were, and we'll begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
I think he's a saxophone player.
A saxophone player, Mr. Cox.
Is a razor blades distributor.
Razor blades distributor, Miss Francis.
I think he manufactures made-up bow ties.
Mr. Sir.
I think Mr. Hume wrote Hume, sweet Hume.
I'm sorry about that, Mr. Hume, but no, nobody has it right. We'll let our viewers at home have a further look at Mr. Charles Hume of Des Plaines, Illinois. At the same time, we'll tell them what his line is. All right, Mr. Hume, do you know how we score this ruckus? You're well aware, are you? All right, we'll just announce then that Mr. Hume is self-employed. And let's begin the general questioning with Dorothy Kilgallen.
Mr. Hume, the audience seemed terribly pleased at your occupation. Do you usually make people happier or more entertained in some way?
Yes.
Do you deal in services?
Yes.
All right, let us go at services. Actually, Mr. Hume is self-employed, and there is an element of service that is rather vital in this category, so we'll let it go.
Well, do you deal in a product?
Yes.
Is it a product that would be found in the home?
Yes.
Is it used by both sexes?
Yes.
Are they people-type sexes?
Yes.
Those who use it?
If it were found in the home and it were the ordinary suburban two-story house, would you find it on both stories, or could you find it?
Yes.
Is it something other than an edible product?
Yes.
Is it ever worn?
No.
Small conference.
Don't you wish you could hear him?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Hume agrees that giving full consideration to the difficulties which face the panel every evening, we should not unnecessarily mislead you.
We're getting
so
the
we
night
will
off?
give... What'd you say, Wally?
I asked if we were getting the night off.
You get... So we'll give you a yes to that. If it's ever worn, we would say yes.
But is it a useful product?
Yes.
Can it be considered useful when it's not worn?
Yes.
Yes,
Would you
sometimes, actually, I mean, it's an occasional thing, perhaps, and it's useful, and it could not be useful, and, it would depend pretty much on your context of
That
use,
makes
actually.
it all clear, doesn't
Yes. Oh, no, it does. If company came, would it ever be lying around in plain view? Would they be likely to remark upon it?
Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, would it be a little unusual to find it in the average home?
Yes.
Would you say that I might get along nicely without having one?
Yes.
Is this something that's alive?
Yes.
Is it in the animal family rather than the fish or bird?
Yes.
Does it have 4 legs?
Yes.
Ooh, is it bigger than a hamster?
Yes.
Is it bigger than a dog?
No.
No, I don't think we can say that. On a general category, that's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Cox.
Well, you were doing so swell.
Stop.
You perform some service for something that's bigger than a hamster?
In a manner of speaking, you could say that Mr. Hume does perform a service for something bigger than a hamster.
It has 4 legs and it can be worn. Okay. Well, what has 4 legs and is worn every day? Well, you service this item in your own establishment, do you?
I beg your pardon. What did you say, Wally?
In your own establishment?
Yes.
Good. You're fine. Go ahead.
I thought you thought it was a funny question. Well, but it's not all. Am I right in assuming that, or recalling that it is not always worn?
Yeah. Yes, the question was asked, could it be worn? And we, with some reluctance, admitted that it could be, yes.
Oh, I see. Ah, can it be walked on?
As Mr. Hume said, it's a possibility.
I see. Well, then most things can be walked on.
Oh, I don't know.
Husbands. Husbands don't have 4 legs. I was ready with that fact before I came. Well, I give up.
Miss Francis.
When you say it can be worn, I presume that you mean that the skin or the fur or some part of it, the pelt, might be worn. But when it's alive, it is rarely worn.
That's
is that
correct?
correct? Mm-hmm. And it is unusual to have this in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can any part of this animal be eaten?
No.
Now, wait a minute. I think here again we've got an area. I would not like to say categorically that any part of this animal cannot be eaten because I'm not sufficiently
You mean some
aware.
people might eat it if they were hungry?
Well,
enough.
or some elements, other elements than human elements might consider it a satisfactory
Yes.
diet.
Well, is it an animal that one might ever see in a circus?
Yes.
Would you? Yeah, I guess
Well, they've got
you
different
could.
circuses out in Illinois.
Sure, you could.
Does it belong to the cat family?
No.
If I find out it's a puma.
Here goes Daly. 2 down and 8 to go. I will say definitely not, and I think we're right about that, right?
No.
All right, 2 down and 8 to go, Mr.
Yeah,
Sir.
I just have a
I'm
feeling.
going to give you one
that-
more minute. for this.
Mr. Hume, if you stepped on this animal, would the animal be likely to give out some kind of an odor that you didn't like?
Yes.
Am I approaching a skunk in some way?
That's right.
You have something to do with skunks?
Yes.
What do? Deodorize them?
Well, actually, that's one of the things that he might do, but we want the general classification.
Well, he's a skunk raiser.
Skunk razor right here is right. Let's put some cards. Thank you very much.
Take a look at this.
Let's play.
This is too hip for you. I'll slow down.
Survey said 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700 more. Hold it. Let's play.
Well, Mr. Hume, we flipped some cards because that was a very interesting one. And panel, congratulations for getting it. Now let's see what you can do with another challenger. Would you sign in, please, sir? Max? Max Fleischman, right, sir? All right. Mr. Fleischman, where are you from?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn, New York. Nice to have a neighbor with us, sir.
Thank you.
These folks are your neighbors, but they still would like to get a look at you, so will you take a hike down there in Staten Island?
Fleischman.
How are you?
Then any players?
All right, Mr. Fleischman, over here now, if you will, and sit down next to me, and we'll give the panel one free guess as to what your line may be. We begin the free guesses with Miss Kilgallen.
Well, he looks like a super salesman of something to me.
Paints miniature portraits.
Miss Francis.
I think Mr. Fleischman makes yeast and everything rises in Brooklyn.
Mr. Sir.
I think Mr. Fleischman owns Fleischman's Baths.
No, I'm afraid not. There wasn't a specific category there in one instance, so we will have to say that you did not get it on the wild guess. We'll let our viewers at home find out exactly what it is Mr. Fleischman does, but the panel's going to have to dig for it. All right. Mr. Fleischman, you know how we score this operation?
Yes.
Good deal. Mr. Fleischman knows how we score it, so we'll announce that you're salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Do you work for a profit-making organization?
Yes.
Do you work indoors?
No.
It'd be nice in this weather if you could.
Oh, that's right.
We will withdraw the negative answer there and say yes.
He could be indoors if it
Yes.
was raining.
No, I would say he basically works indoors.
Basically works indoors. Is there a product
Yes.
involved in what you do? Is it a useful product?
Yes.
Is it found in the home?
Yes.
Is it found in the kitchen?
Yes.
Is it something one eats?
No.
1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Seth.
Did John Daly have something in mind when he said that there wasn't this category mentioned, Mr. Fleischman? Did one of us get somewhere near you in our wild guess?
No.
Well, this puts me in a rough spot now, doesn't it? If I answer this, I can be accused of giving you too much help. I will say that one of you said something very general. To the degree that that statement was made, it was accurate, but it was not specific enough to really lead us anywhere. Mm-hmm.
Well, that doesn't get me very far. It's in the kitchen, but is not edible. Is that
That's
correct?
right. That's right.
Is it used for some kind of cleansing purposes?
Yes.
Is it used to clean objects rather than people?
Yes.
Well, I don't know much about cleaning objects. Is it a solid?
Yes.
Is there fat in it?
Beg your pardon?
Is there fat in it?
Oh, no.
That's 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
out of my depth.
Mr. Fleischman, does this product that you have something to do with, does it come in a variety of shapes and sizes rather than all being one standard item?
Just one size.
That's 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cox.
It has 4 legs and you can wear it.
The other panelist seems to be going on an assumption gathered from your answers that you deal with a product which is used for cleaning.
That's right.
Is that?
Yes.
Then I can proceed on the same assumption.
Sure.
Okay. Now, first time you were asked if you worked outdoors, it didn't sound as if you didn't, and then all of a sudden it did.
I think what we clarified that to say that Mr. Fleischman basically worked indoors.
Basically.
Mm-hmm.
But some of his work carries him outdoors, does it?
He does tend to go out into the open air, as we all do, you know, in the normal pursuit of our daily living.
Well, then when he goes outdoors, it's just to go to work, is it?
Yes.
Yes, actually, he's outdoors on his assignment at work, yes.
Oh, I see. Then I see, yes. Oh, what you mean then is he's being paid a salary while using the transit system and the automobile. You don't mean that?
No, I don't think I mean that. No, actually, he works indoors, but he would naturally, as we all do, as we perform our tasks, have an occasion to go outdoors. You see what I mean?
Well, that normally would go without saying.
Yeah. You got me licked. I'm going to ring the bell on all of you and flip the cards over and announce that Mr. Fleischman sells toothpicks.
Oh, no.
That is the contribution. Thank you very much, Mr. And with the J.D. Products Company, he gave me some with my name on them, so I can be very elegant. All right, in just a moment, we'll meet tonight's mystery guest, but first, here is a dance pantomime by Dorothy Jonak for Stopette.
When it comes to a deodorant, some people are still in the dark. Maybe it's time we threw a little light on the subject. You want a deodorant to make you mighty like a rose. But if you think that's enough, you're very, very mistaken. So, why don't you get next to Stopette? Stopette protects those pretties next to you. That devastating dress. That altogether bewitching lingerie. You see, Stopette is an antiperspirant, too, and here's how it works. It closes down your pores like so many tiny, tiny little windows. But Stopette doesn't stop there. Stopette is gentle as a spring day. When you pick Stopette, you're picking a lotion spray with soothing, soothing ingredients. It's wonderful. Poof! There goes perspiration. Shouldn't you get Stopette?
And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of our mystery celebrity, for which my friends on the panel wear blindfolds. Are those blindfolds all in place, panel?
Yes, sir.
Yes, they are.
Good. Then will you come in, mystery challenger, and sign in, please?
The unknown person.
All right, panel, as you know, in the case of our mystery celebrity, we dispense with all of the preliminary questioning, get right down to the facts of the case, and we'll begin with Mr. Bennett, sir.
You dispense with the applause, first of all.
Either there was no applause or but suddenly my hearing has gone back on me. Are you in the entertainment business?
Yes.
You're a man.
Yes.
Is the reason that they played this dirty trick on us that if they hadn't told them not to applaud, there would have been thunderous applause? Is that correct?
I think I'll have to answer that question, Bennett, and say yes.
In other words, then, you're a recognized star. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right, Bennett.
Have you ever been a star in the movies?
Yes.
Are you a big star today in the movies?
I'll answer that, Bennett. Yes, definitely.
Gosh, I don't know who's in town.
Don't you wish you'd studied your lessons, Bennett, sir?
Have you got a big picture either on Broadway or about to come to Broadway now?
Yes.
Mickey Mouse?
Would it be a picture that had something to do with juvenile delinquency?
No. That's 1 down and 9 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Are you the big, tall, good-looking type?
Would you like to give us specifications here? For instance, when you say tall, how tall do you mean, Dorothy?
Well, over 6 feet.
Over 6 feet? No. That's 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Cox.
Am I anywhere near the microphone?
Yeah. You're fine, Wally. You go ahead and talk.
You are suffering from a voice condition now?
No.
He's got a picture. No picture coming. No. Well,
He has a picture, Wally. It has nothing to do with juvenile delinquency. That's all.
Right. That's right.
I'll tell you, and he's not over 6 feet, Wally, and it's not you.
I wish it were me.
It were I, Wally.
Exactly. Well, I'm not good at this sort of thing.
Would you like to pass?
I pass, yes.
You pass? All right, Miss Preston.
I'm sorry you passed, Wally. Well, now, you're here in town. Have you ever appeared in the theater?
Yes.
Did you go into pictures from the theater?
Yes.
Have you appeared in the theater since you have been in pictures?
Yes.
Have you appeared in the theater in the last, let's say, year?
Yes.
Are you tall? Are you dark?
Yes.
Did you ever appear in a play with Judith Anderson?
Yes.
Have you recently appeared in a play of Christopher Fry's?
Yes.
Is the play The Dark is Light Enough, but not quite enough?
Yes, it
Is it Tyrone Power?
Yes! I just want to take...
What picture are you in?
The Long Gray Line.
Is playing now.
Oh, yes,
still
yes.
playing?
West
Yes,
Point and all
very
that.
much so. But I want to get one thing straight. Tyrone, whose idea was it to do away with applause?
Well, that was mine, I'm afraid.
He thought it would be a lot of fun to see if we could trap you.
Just to see what happened once.
Maybe it was, I thought, now that I've seen you, that it maybe was the beard, because you don't look like the same Tyrone Power.
What is the beard for while we have you?
That's for the play, for the dark is light enough. Yes.
What
Yes,
do you mean,
Dawn?
Tyrone? You're not 6 feet tall.
You said over
Over
6
6
feet tall.
Just 6 feet. We had him measured with an Eclocus Newtonstropus, and it came out just right at 6 feet. Thank you very much, Tyrone.
Thank
nice
you very
to have
much.
had you with us.
Need your lawn mowed? There's a whammy for that. Want to walk the dog? There's a whammy for that. But if you want to win, there's no whammy for that.
No whammies! No whammies!
Pesky little critters. Press your luck. Weeknights at 7 on BUZZR. Let's play.
All right, panel. Can you sign in, please, sir? We'll see what we can do with the final panelist. You're going to have something less than 2 minutes to do it in, so we'll dispense with all of the wild guesses and dispense with the trip. It's Jack Syke, is that right, sir? Where are you from, Jack? Oak Park, Illinois. Oak Park? From Oak Park, Illinois. You come with me, if you will. We'll sit down, and what we will do immediately is let the folks at home know what your occupation is, but the panel just has to take a quick look at you and to begin their questioning. All right, let's let the viewers at home know that what Mr. Syke does, but let's make the panel work. You know how we score this, Mr. Syke?
Yes, sir.
All right, you know how to score. We'll announce that you're salaried, and let's begin the general questioning with Wally Cox, and you have something like, 2 minutes to do it in.
Oh, that's not near enough time. Well, do you perform a service?
Yes.
Phew. Are you self-employed?
No.
No, we announced he was salaried.
Oh.
You're not listening.
You want to pass, Wally?
Yes.
All right, Wally's passes Miss Francis. 1 minute to go.
Do you instruct anything?
Instruct anything?
Teach anything? No.
No. 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Sir.
Mr. Syke, Ernest Hemingway comes from Oak Park, too. Have you got anything to do with either writing or acting?
No. 2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you have anything to do with any branch of the armed forces?
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Cox.
Got around fast, didn't it, Wally?
Back in there, Wally.
Conspiracy. Well, you're employed then.
I give up. I know what I'm like. Flip the card. Yes, Wally, he's employed, but actually we ran out of time. Just thought you might catch it, in wild questioning. Mr. Syke rents tuxedos. That's the service on the product. Thanks very much, Mr. Syke. The full prize. Thanks for being our guest on What's My Line. Well, we'll be back in just a moment, but first, here's a story in code from Stopettes.
It's real news, say cosmeticians. It's real news, say the women of America. Yes, it's news that you can now get Stoppette in a brand new form. It's a new kind of cream, made by the makers of famous Stoppette spray deodorant. And it's so easy to use. It swivels from its pretty plastic case, just like a lipstick. And like a lipstick, you can carry it in your purse. Think of it. No stubborn jars. No gooey fingers. No waste. Nothing to wash off. You never touch the new Stoppette. You hardly know it touches you. And like the original spray deodorant, you can expect more of Stoppette. For this new Stoppette cream is one you can count on to protect you all day long. For Stoppette alone protects you 3 ways. First, it's a deodorant. Second, it's an antiperspirant. And third, it soothes because it contains the same soothing ingredients you find in Stoppette's lotion spray. So if you prefer a cream, shouldn't you get Stoppette, the new way to smooth away perspiration?
Some people just can't keep a secret. Aren't you glad? I've got a secret next. Then more probing surveys and insane answers as families fight it out on Family Feud. Stay tuned.
Well, before our panel says goodnight, may I remind you to tune in again next week at 10:30 p.m. on Sunday evening Eastern Standard Time, when once again we invite you to play What's My Line? For other localities, check your local listings for the date and time of our weekly series.
And now a message from our alternate week sponsor, Remington Rand, makers of the Remington 60 Deluxe electric shaver. The shaver that's so gentle it can shave a peach, so rugged it can shave a brush. Proving that no matter how tender your skin or tough your beard, the Remington's bound to give you a close, comfortable shave. Tomorrow, why don't you reach for the Remington? Get a Remington 60 Deluxe.
And now, until next week, this is John Daly saying good night, Miss Dorothy.
Good night, Wally.
Good night, Arlene.
That's right, Wally. You did that very well. Good night, Wally. Good night, Bennett.
Good night, Prexy Daly.
Good night, panel, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being with us on What's My Line?
Transportation for Charles Hume was arranged through American Airlines. American Airlines, the country's leading airline, now serving the United States, Mexico, and Canada. This has been a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production in association with the CBS Television Network.